Okay, so I'll read just a couple of pages from this other part of the book. So alternating with those chapters, Bill is also trying to write Jack is also trying to write a play with his friend Bill. Bill is sort of a gruff playwright from New York, and they're really close, but they're sort of moving apart. And they're writing this play about a girl and her father on a train. They're walking around Walden Pond in the snow, really high, and they've just come upon a stone statue of Thoreau wearing a Roman toga. You know, as a performance piece, I said, tapping away at the growing nowhere scene. Yeah, Bill said? I think Thoreau was the first. He gestured toward the small, preserved cabin across the lake. I couldn't imagine it wasn't a recreation, even in New England. I probably should actually read Thoreau one of these days, he said. No rush, I told him. Why not start with the Bible and work your way up? I've never even read Moby Dick, Bill said. Not really. I haven't read any of those modern, cool authors, but I love them. I fill my bed with their books. Totally, I said. I roll around in them. The late afternoon air didn't deepen so much as pale, turning dark blue only at the edge where the tree line deepened. Our collective high reached a loopy summit. We may have been already coming down. I got an encyclopedia, I said, and I was flipping through it, and I had to check twice, but Gertrude Stein was born only 40 years after Mark Twain, only 10 years after Edith Wharton, 1870-something. She would have been middle-aged when our grandparents were kids, you know? She published all that experimental stuff before they were born, and they elected Reagan. American history is not that long, Bill said. Put your hand in the ground to get blood on your fingers. I watched the wind and the leaves move shadows and light on the page. It must be so nice to live around here, Bill said. All that history preserved, all the buildings in Boston. I looked at the way the toga folded around the base of Thoreau's neck. If I concentrated for a second, I could detect the muffled sound of traffic. We were near a road. The road was near a pond. We should get back, I said. The cold that had settled in my hands for 20 minutes was reaching up my arms. I felt it blush in my spine. You want to finish a scene first, or at least decide on a scene? How about we don't invade North America, but instead the Indians invade us, Bill said. We were walking back toward my car. Time jumped at me. They gang up. Let's say they crossed the land bridge a few hundred years earlier than they did, so they have time to organize. And they cross the Atlantic in canoes, all of them. And maybe they just attack England because Europe would be too considerable. Wouldn't Europe rally to England's defense? I stopped feeling the cold. Bill's talk directed me out of it. Nah, they make a treaty with France. They're good at that. Frenchies figure anything that fucks up England's good for them. So what do? They set up a little paradise there, wipe out the English? It's just so much better than what happened. We should write about Crazy Horse. Do you know anything about him? No. Bill shuffled the backpack against his other shoulder. I felt my numb toes tingle in the walk. It was my own fault for wearing cowboy boots all winter. That and the slips on the ice should have taught me. And the way the cheap, show-off spurs got bent from the pedals when I drove. He went on a vision quest. His father was a shaman, but he did it alone. His vision told him to never keep anything for himself, to be beneficent, never let anyone hold his shoulders back, to dress simply, just a stone behind his ear. I was quiet for a minute. When he didn't say anything, I said, what did Crazy Horse do again? I don't think I ever knew. Custer. And he lived his whole life according to this vision. I wish I had that strength. The vision at Walden, the vision at Walden. Spin your own clothes. Take amphetamines, I said. Smoke French cigarettes. How are we going to get Crazy Horse in a play about a girl on a train? Or is that what it is now? Train stuff doesn't work, Bill said. Drama's about fucking or fighting. I don't know a mohawk from an Iroquois, I said. That's our fault, Bill said. Trudged ahead. Thanks.